Listening to BearatNight podcast with your host, Jurassic Parker.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is your boy, Jurassic Parker, a.k.a. Parker, that guy up the street, that guy who collect toys, that guy over there, that guy that is him, that is me, I am him. This is the BearatNight podcast. Thank you guys for joining. We have a brain trust today once again to communicate the ins and outs of the wrestling business that we love so much. Mainly what's going on right now in the WWE. We have Chico, John himself, we have Choji,
yes,
Mr. Bryan of Geek Squire, you know what I'm saying? And if you can see this, make sure I have my mic in front of me, Jesus. If you guys can see this visually on YouTube when I post it later, you see these gentlemen are out of nowhere rocking WWE belts. This was not a part of the plan. I never specified that we was going to do this. We didn't have to do this. I didn't know that was part. That wasn't part of the manuscript when I first had this idea. So since they are doing this, one with the John Cena belt and one with the last of the WWE heavyweight belts. I might as well bring mine.
Oh, you got the big gold? He got the Wildcat.
This is my Wildcat belt, okay? Yeah, this is my Wildcat belt that for cosplay, when I do Wildcat, this is my belt. Yeah, the world champion. So that means any federation I'm in, I'm the champion. So that's what we do. That's what we do
right there.
That's what we do. So yeah. So just to make me feel better, you know what I'm saying? Hold on, make sure on this side. Hold on, this side. Yeah,
the thumbnail. That's the thumbnail right there. This is the thumbnail. You got 3 different champions holding the titles. Like,
exactly, 3. Exactly. Mine's is better.
Yeah. Okay.
So before we get into it, shout outs to one of my favorite heroes. Being an adult it sucks. And one of the things about being an adult is seeing your heroes that you grew up watching pass away. And one of those is my boy, the one and only Action Jackson, Apollo Creed himself. Carl Weathers passed away a few days ago. One of the best, not too many black heroes that we have growing up, especially in the sector, the section of the muscle action hero sector of movies. You had your Arnold Schwarzeneggers, you had your Sylvester Stallones, your Van Dammes and all that, Steven Seagal,
Bruce
which is
Willis.
debatable. But you also had your boy Action Jackson, Carl Weathers. The man was pivotal to all the Rocky movies. Even to this day, his character has passed away, but the character's family lives on with the Creed movies, which were very successful. And then you also had, Carl Weathers in The Predator, one of the best characters in there, and plus you had that meme with the 2 muscle arms getting together, like,
son of a bitch.
Men. It was the simplification of 2 big meaty men, going
slapping
at it,
meat.
Slapping meats, quote Biggie. But yes, you had, this guy there he was like the best friend of Sylvester Stallone, the best friend of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he always killed it even by himself. It was something, he had a presence on his own that he was definitely great.
Don't forget Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. Oh my God, yes, Happy Gilmore. He got it. Yeah, he was really great. He was funny, Happy Gilmore. And now thinking about the scene of him, playing the piano, singing "It's Only Just Begun." Now it's just like,
I'm sorry, but real quick, just shout out to Big E because that will never not be funny.
It would never.
It would never. It's
two
classic.
big men, 7 weeks.
2 big mini men with big chests and big muscles bumping meat. 2 big mini men bumping meat.
Nothing homoerotic at all about that. No. It's just action movies. That's all. And then also, you know, most recently with the Mandalorian, was just character. I loved his character in the Mandalorian, and I was hoping to see his character more because he was on each season, and also the best episodes of the Mandalorian were the ones that he directed.
Right.
And so that just shows the talent that he had. I watched his career. He had a TV show from back in the day, like with the former football player. I think he's on the Today Show with a football player.
He was a Raider.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Everyone forgets that.
Yeah, and not to put it out there, but the man was like a Greek god the way he looked back in the day. Like no one looked like he had the perfect mustache. You know how they had like Tom Selleck mustache? It's talking about he had the perfect mustache. It just never went nowhere. It just everything, the shape up, everything, the perfect fro. And wasn't too high, wasn't too low. It was perfect. You ain't never seen it like misshapen or nothing. It just looked like he woke up perfect, you know. Right. And that's just he was dope. He was the black Kurt Hennig.
He was the black Mr. Perfect.
Yes,
basically. Yeah.
Yes, definitely a talent. And to this day, so it's like even when you think people are even the best shape of their lives, when it's time, it's time. So, you know, but shout outs to Mr. Carl Weathers and his family. You know, forever young. All right, so the Royal Rumble happened. Finally, it's over and out. Yep. Cody won. Bailey won. Mm-hmm. It's easy to see what's going to happen with Bailey. You know, yes. Like, Bailey, if you're listening, if you ever see this, I'm single. I'm just saying.
Bless.
Damn, fuck the both of us. Damn.
You can have everybody else. I'll take Bailey, please. Bailey, if you listen to this, if you're watching this,
Sasha's
side quest. Bailey, if you seen this, holla at your boy. I'm just saying, go on a date. You know, get some of the drinks. You know, I don't drink. You can drink, but I mean, I pay for it. You know, I'm shooting my shot, y'all. Shoot my shot. So we're gonna have a fun time. You know, we'll have a fun time. You know, that's how I look at it. You know, so you like tacos? We get some tacos, pizza, whatever you want.
Can we get back to the podcast, please?
Sorry, sorry about that.
Like, I don't know if we're doing a podcast.
Side quest over. Yeah. So back to the show. Oh, hey guys, how you doing? So forgot y'all was there. So back to Bailey. Yeah, she did great. We already know who her
WrestleMania path is laid out.
It's been there for a while now. We've been seeing this going on for a while with Damage Control. We're just waiting for it to happen. We're just waiting for it to pull the trigger, and it's happening. So showed up.
That implosion, actually, the one thing that I will say is, and before we go any further, I feel like I should point this out. And Dom, I think you know what I'm about to say. I have not been a huge WWE head in the last few years. Like straight up, I literally fell off of WWE programming after the year that I was able to deduce I think it was the 2013 SummerSlam card. Word for word. You remember how I told you what word for word which matches were going to happen, even like the lowbrow matches, including the Divas main event, which was Charlotte versus Trish Stratus. When I literally called that card word for word and knew, like, picked the outcome.
What's that SummerSlam?
I think it was 2013.
I mean, that was pretty given. Was 2013? Was that 2013?
I think it was. Because it was. I think it was in Madison Square Garden.
Because I remember 2013. That was Daniel Bryan versus Cena in the main event. Yeah, I remember that.
But still, any match with Charlotte was always going to win anyway.
Well, the thing is, though,
no, it wasn't.
What was it?
Charlotte. It was Natalya with Cameron and Naomi versus Brie Bella with Nikki and Eve Marie.
Okay.
What was the year that it was Trish versus Charlotte?
It had to be a few years ago. 2013.
No, it definitely was. No, it wasn't a few years ago. It was like maybe 2015, maybe 2016.
All right, 2014. That was the death of Super Cena. Go fast forward to 2015.
Because it was before the pandemic.
Charlotte, it was Team PCB versus Team Bad versus the Bellas. Still no Trish. Fast forward 2016. It's Charlotte versus Sasha. Oh well, shit, you found it.
Yeah, 2019. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't that long ago. 2013, 2015.
My apologies. It was 2019 that we had called that card. But
yeah, I already knew that was gonna happen. Like I said, Charlotte is their winner. Like they're not gonna.
Just got to a point where, and I think a lot of it now, since Vince McMahon has stepped down from creative with everything that's going on.
Oh no! Forced down, deservedly forced down.
He forced out.
I was trying to be subtle about it, but yeah,
like he forced that person
of creative.
Something supposed
to
now that Hunter has kind of taken over creative, we've seen a resurgence in storytelling and entertainment wise, just because like I felt while Vince was controlling things, it was literally ruthless aggression and ruthless aggression and attitude era stories just being recycled with modern day superstars.
I would say maybe like more attitude, but it was very toned down, obviously because you have more kids watching.
Right.
Because like we saw I think we saw Cesaro versus either R-Truth or someone 5 straight weeks in a row on both Raw and SmackDown. And it's just like, why?
Well, see, that's also I was saying. I was, thinking just the other day, because I'm glad that Vince is out finally, in a way, because I was looking at what Cedric Alexander is doing now is forming a tag team with
Ashanti D Adonis. You gotta say.
So I was like, man, at a moment, like this is what I hate about, don't get me wrong, like I am grateful for what Vince McMahon has done in for wrestling, but I also don't like his tactics or like his moods with wrestlers, because it's like just you feel like I'm not feeling this person this week. Just because you're not feeling that person that week is going to drastically change that wrestler's.
It takes away from the story,
trajectory,
their story, their career,
their way of living, their whole life in and out the ring. And it's like it was good on there was a time where it was good on Cedric for like 2 weeks. He was hot. He was on the main events for helping out Roman Reigns and stuff. And then
Cedric, Buddy Murphy, Mustafa Ali,
and then out of nowhere they stopped being on TV after 2-3 weeks. Because why? Because Vince was like, I'm bored with this one now.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
You can't do that.
Vince has never been good when it comes to dealing with the, let's say, the middleweight division to the cruiserweight. Yeah. And when we saw a resurgence in that when, Triple H was, or, as he's being, looked at now, Paul Levesque, because he's not in action anymore, they're trying to wean him away from the Triple H persona.
But I'll let you go.
It's like with 205 Live, that was literally all cruiserweight division. Those were great matches.
Yeah,
that was good content, and even so much so that a lot of those cruiserweights had a chance to show what they were made of, and even make their way to the main roster. But then it's just like the problem is when you get certain talent to the main roster, they don't know what to do with them, and then it gets to that point where if they're not in the main story with a major championship or a grudge match, they don't know what to do with them, and they kind of just end up falling to the wayside, and either they end up getting eliminated from the company, or they end up, just kind of getting phased out of the company entirely. I mean, look at
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler, who has been in the company for how long? And then it's just like,
Almost 20 years.
He has
Yeah,
just
like
much
19 years. He just
company as Shawn Michaels, as a lot of these major guys that we grew up watching. He's been with them for that amount of time, and he really didn't get his fair share of.
I mean, you always get those
title
people that
runs, championship runs. He should have gotten a legitimate world title run, and he never got it.
I mean, because he had one concussion, and then they were like, "Oh, we're scared," and they changed their mind on him. They like, "Oh, he's unsafe or something like that." But it's like he had one situation where he was the one that got hurt,
right?
And then they, do all that.
So to circle back to to circle
No,
back.
I'm saying what you want to say.
To circle back to with Cedric for those 2 weeks. One of the things that, if you remember, it was Paul Heyman running that Raw for a little bit, where you saw your Buddy Murphys, your Aleister Blacks, your Cedric Alexanders, Mustafa Ali's. Like, you saw the future talent, like talent that was in NXT that got brought to the main roster. That Paul saw these guys and went, "These are stars. Let's build them as stars." And then when Paul got removed from creative and went back to being Brock's guy or being Roman's guy, you immediately saw the drastic change. They went from being constantly used to barely there, or if they were being used for like 5 seconds to lose a match or to get jumped before a match.
And even so much so, like, let's take a look at even just so much, if we really just in like even just the most recent events since Paul has taken over creative, you have seen an emergence of crossover entertainment with different entertainment companies, because they're willing to let their stars cross over. Whereas when Vince is in creative, you don't see superstars from other creative names, from TNA or anything else. And if you do, it's just like we just need to fill the spaces. You mind giving us somebody for like a
night? And if they are used for a night, they're immediately squashed and just like treated as like not even second fill, like fourth filler. Like they're not treated.
Like they're treated as D-list stars, and then just kind of used for like a scrap match to announce a new talent or something. But we had the chance to see, and I'm sorry that I'm a little bit unaware of TNA. I've fallen off of TNA for a long time, and it's so understandable that, like, when I watched TNA, the only thing it was the main event Mafia when Kurt Angle was there.
Oh, you was gone by then?
I've been gone from wrestling content for a long time, but one of the things that I do remember was when Booker T and Kurt Angle were with the main event Mafia. So that's how long.
All about the five.
So that's how long it's been since I really watched TNA content. But the fact that they let the TNA Knockouts champion participate in the Royal Rumble, and even so much so they let Mickie James, when she was in TNA, join the Royal Rumble, that says a lot.
Yeah,
creative.
But Mickie was in, but she didn't feel like she was like treated like she was in. Like it was like, oh well, you are a former WWE star and you're here. They treated Jordynne Grace with some respect. They put respect on her name.
Grace had a great run. That's her name. Thank you so much.
But also, I would say too,
incredible run in the Royal Rumble.
I would say too, they
where,
do that.
I thought she was going to make it into at least the top 5.
Yeah, true. Like I could say she could do that. They could do that now because one with Endeavor, who is in charge of TKO, because you have the UFC and WWE that forms TKO, and then TKO is under the umbrella of Endeavor, and now under also Endeavor is TNA as a separate entity, because they are helping with TNA with their whole promotion of getting them a TV deal, a better TV deal. So it kind of like they're cousins in a way now. It's like, we're under the same roof now, so we can help you out a little bit, and that's just going to be crazy. Is it Chico there?
Oh, is someone Super K Chico?
So I think he might be back. Hold on, give it a second. Oh, he's back. Yeah.
There
so
you go.
I'm sorry, I had to step away for a second, but yeah, no.
So you have them being able to do that with her because they're all of the same umbrella, TNA and WWE now under Endeavor. Even though they still owned by Anthem, which is still their company, the people that pay them and everything. But I still think to this day, if TNA didn't have the Knockouts division be killing it the way that they was doing for so long before the WWE got their shit together for their women's division, like the women's division in the Knockouts.
I still remember when they had their first like street fight. It was ODB versus I think Madame Revo, and ODB hit her with a shovel. No, it was Mickey Knuckles. Mickey Knuckles. Yeah. It was ODB and Mickey Knuckles, and I knew of both of them from the independents. So the fact that I got to see them on TV, I was super stoked.
What was
the fact that,
I actually know ODB. A friend of mine who I hope she's still doing her wrestling thing. Her name is Rosalie, but I think her in-ring name is Tequila Rose. She actually took on ODB a few years ago. The video's on YouTube. She definitely had a great match with ODB. That was a fun match to watch in the independent circuit. But it's just like that right there is just like a perfect example of how, sometimes hitting the indie circuit will do a lot of things.
Wonders.
You're going to run into.
I mean, shoot, we just talked about Mustafa. He just became the Wrestling Pro champion right now.
Yeah.
He just became a heavyweight champion now, finally, for the company that he's at right now.
Chris Masters is another one.
Chris Masters is in NWA. You have Mansoor and
Mansoor and the Great Otaku.
Yeah, I would. You know what? I would wish he would go back to that Otaku because I like that character before he came to WWE. But I mean, I understand he had to switch it up too. But I genuinely like these guys now outside of wrestling.
They were always funny. I loved the Masterpiece when his run in Raw. He was an incredible in-ring competitor.
Yeah, but
it just felt like to me though, and you guys chime in and you tell me how you feel about it. I felt like Chris Masters had all the tools of the trade with his Masterpiece persona, but the problem was it was just it was like a Biggie and Craig Mack situation where too many people were trying to come up at once, and he got kind of thrown into the wayside because I feel like he had the potential to really get.
It wasn't that.
I think it's the opposite. He had all the potential. He had the look. I didn't. His in-ring was unfortunately below mid. That's only because I think they brought him up a bit too early.
But he had a look. He
had the look. But then let's not forget, he also got caught for steroids. So we saw him again. He dropped a lot of muscle mass. Granted, he was still jacked as shit.
But remember, that was the time he was in the major. He had a lot of TV time every week, but it was him. Randy Orton. There was some other people that had to get suspended. They were gone for like 2 or 3, like 3-4 months or whatever.
Right, because of that big old probe investigation, especially after.
But like I said, but also like Randy was gone too. Yeah. Like he lost a lot of weight because he was also doing steroids and everything too. So
at least Randy made work because he slimmed down and
But that's when he also became
incorporate that.
But that's when he became the Viper.
The thing was Randy. He had all the tools to be able to get into the form that he is even today.
Yeah.
But the problem was, and this is the thing that we as as fans watching the stuff, we need to remember, is, the behind the scenes is scripted and all that stuff, but the in ring action is real, and
Yeah.
these deal with a lot of wear and tear.
But you also got to remember at that time.
So it's like if you don't keep up with everyone else, you're gonna lose your spot. And
but it happens. That happens all the time.
I'm sorry.
That happens all the time, like that.
Right. And
those 3-4 months that they were gone, that's a crucial time frame for any wrestler, especially if you're on a come up. So that's why when Chris Masters came back, he never was in the same area again. But it was different for Randy when he came back.
Randy was. Let's be honest. Randy was picked from the get go.
He's Triple H's boy.
He's grandfathered into the company because
he was already Triple H's boy. He's already in Evolution. He already had the main start. But also, he came back. He leaned into the look that he was into because he came back a lot leaner. But he also shaved his head and everything. He was like, that's what he just like. He had the voices in his head thing going on. Like he was just catching. I think that's when the start of him doing the RKOs on everybody. He started doing the RKOs on all the McMahons. He had all the RKOs on the McMahons. He had that big feud with Triple H.
Around WrestleMania 25, the 25th anniversary. Yes.
Yeah, they had that. Remember he was at the house. They were fighting in the house and everything.
So the thing with that storyline, and I feel like the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania, the storylines were so well scripted because of not only timing but what they had at the time. And let's roll back the clock and think at the time, who did we have? We had the Hardy brothers and their little back and forth, especially.
You want to go back? We going back to WrestleMania 25 time?
Yeah, like we're running back the clock.
I mean, they were still.
I got you.
You have literally dealing with their feud after the Royal Rumble, after Jeff dropping the title to Edge. You have Rey Mysterio versus JBL Intercontinental title,
which was a squash match.
You have obviously Randy Orton and Triple H, their huge feud for the WWE Championship. The triple threat match for the World Heavyweight title.
Yep. Shawn Michaels versus
Big Show
Undertaker
and John Cena, and then literally, which was the match that stole the entire show.
Show.
The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. The first match, not the second one. First match.
Arguably should have gone on last because they stole all the energy from the crowd.
Well, the thing was, it was just like this is the thing with WrestleMania that is constantly a thing unless there's the build-up. The end of the night always ends up being a championship match unless the build-up is there. Perfect example leading back into WrestleMania 26, where it was the streak versus the career. The build-up was there, and even so much so that the 26th WrestleMania had a lot of really good components, but nothing was built up like this rematch. I mean, it was perfect to the minute details. Even so much so.
I see you with the Homeland. I see you.
What?
You ain't slick.
What?
You ain't slick.
I just realized that I just pulled out Homelander. I was like, perfect. No, but so like I can go back and watch that match again and again. But the biggest part of that match that I feel that really built up, that made that match so iconic, was not only the story, but the promo to the story. Like, if you actually watch that promo, it's like...
Oh, I have it bookmarked.
Dude, like, you genuinely know what I'm talking about. It's like, it has...
Running up that hill.
It has that, that promo, that first part of WrestleMania 25, I made one mistake.
Undertaker, I can beat you. And it's like, yes, Shawn. And then Shawn going fucking crazy.
But like, even just so much so, like, I think the biggest part that literally, that promo that makes it so iconic is you have Shawn literally like, this has been my career. This has been my life for over 25 years. You think I would risk all of it if I couldn't beat you? And then you have Undertaker on the other end, like, I will open the gates of hell to release a fury like no man has ever seen, to make sure that your career is over. And then at the end, like, if I can't beat you, I have
no career.
And that's it. That's the promo right there. That's iconic. And just the match, everything, it was absolutely flawless. Like 5 stars.
Yes.
The match of the year for that year.
I don't like that y'all making me feel old now.
Dude,
they're literally talking about 15 years ago.
Here's the wild thing.
When you say
Ain't you
25,
the oldest one?
WrestleMania 20, huh?
Ain't you the oldest one?
Ladies and gentlemen, I like to let you guys know, if you can't see this. Matter of fact, the people that's going to see this later on YouTube, you're not going to be able to see this. So hypothetically, the moment that this man just said that, in my mind, I was right behind him, ready to slap the whole hell out of his back and his neck. Slap the holy air out of his neck. Just like, went to the 5 fingers to the, went to the 5 fingers to the back of your neck. Like, oh, like, just a nice one. Just a real nice slap in the back of the head. Oh, I can feel it right now, Lord Jesus.
Your Honor, I plead the fifth.
Oh, Lord, I can feel it.
I'm sorry. I gotta respect my elders. I'm so sorry.
You set yourself up for that one.
Now, in my head, I want to leave Choji outside, Bryan, Mr. Bryan. I want to leave you outside in a winter storm. In Connecticut. In Connecticut.
Oh, yeah, we're about to get hit with some powder.
It's in a winter storm. You can't come in the house. You're locked outside. You can't come out.
Where is he from anyway?
I'm from New Orleans.
Yep.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
So I want to leave you. So I want to leave him outside right now in a winter storm with nothing more than a hoodie. That's all he can get. That's the only one he will have is a hoodie. Matter of fact, a hoodie that is two sizes small. 2 sizes small. So that means he's never gonna get any warmth. Okay.
You mean this one right here? This one right here? I already got one.
Okay, 3 sizes small.
Okay,
so,
there you go.
That way he can never get any heat. Like that's what I want right now.
Anyway, because since we're on the subject of
the audacity of this man. This is gonna break up my age. I was just saying, he gave me a flashback. He didn't have to go into me like that.
Oh, like, come on, man. Like,
I got enough going on being a adult black male in the United States of America in 2024.
I'm 33. I'm not that far.
No, but you triggered me.
We're on the floor, and I got
to talk about wrestling. I want to talk about wrestling, and you coming in. What's the word? What's the word that you coming in here with? Ages.
We're on the floor, and we both got gray hair, so let's not worry about that right now.
I ain't got no gray hair.
Well, all right then. So I'm the one.
There you go.
I'm the older one out of us 3 then.
I got gray hair under my neck, and I'm balding in the back. Don't worry about that.
That means y'all all stressed out. Y'all more stressed than I am.
All right then. So then let's agree on that. But
still,
since we are talking about
you in the cold, buddy. You in the cold.
Let Chico speak.
Since we are on the season of WrestleMania,
you in the cold. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
How do you feel about the story unfolding that we have seen in regards to the
Rock God, I've been waiting for
and
this.
Cody Rhodes? Because me personally, what it feels like, it's going very feels like we're turning back the clock to WrestleMania 8. Hulk Hogan versus The Rock and his heel mentality.
You mean
I
18?
love. Can I just say I love heel Rock?
Basically, kind of just going to be in the point where I feel like this is how I feel like it's going to unfold in the next couple of months. Dom, you feel like you don't think it's going to go that way, but
All right,
have I shown you?
all right, everybody give their predictions. Go ahead.
So,
Let you go
what I was
first.
saying was, after the press conference, because I hadn't seen it yet.
You still
What I
haven't seen the
feel
press
is going
conference?
to, I watched it already
Okay.
before when we were talking about it.
Right.
What I feel is going to unfold is, because of that little friction at the end of the press conference, is we're going to hear a lot of back and forth in regarding to families.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think is going to end up happening is just how is Paul Heyman a special advocate to Roman Reigns. I feel like The Rock will be joining the Bloodline as a senior advisor type scenario,
Mm-hmm.
which will lead to the Royal Rumble. And the one thing that I did notice is Seth Rollins kind of inserted himself. So I feel like what may happen is a tag team match between The Rock, Roman Reigns, between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber, leading into WrestleMania, where The Rock. Sorry, that's in my area.
Oh,
I wasn't sure that was me over here too, because we were like from like a few blocks away. So
Yeah, that's in my area. I'm sorry. Leading to The Rock being in Roman's corner at WrestleMania 40 when Cody tries to complete his story. That's what I feel may unfold from what I've seen. And a few other people may agree. Maybe it might not go that way, but considering the animosity and from what it looks like, that's what may happen. But there is Friday Night SmackDown that might shed some light as to where things are going. But that's my prediction for the coming months.
Okay. Before you say that, before you go, Choji, can I just say how Seth Rollins looked like he was good at one point, but his Seth Rollins easily got chunked down to looking like the Miz when that feud of The Rock and The Rock is.
I was gonna bring it up, but
yeah, he immediately went down to like looking like the Miz during that time of the Rock versus Cena. Like, hey guys, I'm right here. Hey, I got the belt too.
Well, that's the thing. It's just unfortunate that and I think this is some foreshadowing to like the coming year, because now you have two brands again, two world champions again. So it's like, but we need to remember though, before we had these two world champions, we had one belt that was merged from two world title belts.
Is this one still called it's the Undisputed Universal Champion, right?
Right, because remember,
it still has to keep that name
for a winner take all match.
Yeah, so it's still the Universal in name, right?
It's still technically the Universal Undisputed Universal WWE. See, that's the thing. Now it's getting all confusing because they're still trying to like turn it back into the WWE Championship, but us that have been keeping track, it's technically the Universal WWE.
So the belt that we got absorbed into the Universal Championship belt was the WWE Heavyweight Championship.
It's called the Undisputed WWE Universal Championship belt.
Okay, so it's basically all one thing. And then now this one that Seth is, it's basically their version of the
basically a revival of the World Heavyweight Championship.
The World Heavyweight Championship belt. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out what's the difference.
So remember when I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was gonna say the World Heavyweight title that's been revised has the same lineage as the World Heavyweight title that was revived in 2002 when Triple H was handed the belt on Raw.
Right, which is WCW, right?
Right. The Universal Undisputed blah 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 blah. That is still under the WWE Championship lineage.
So remember, we have to remember back to when Cena and Randy had. Cena and Randy had merged the titles in the first place. So you had that one world title literally being defended on both brands for the longest time.
And Randy had both belts.
Then when the WWE draft started all over again, which was the family, feuding between Stephanie and her brother Shane, that's when the Universal Championship was debuted on
the big
Raw.
red belt, right?
Yes, where Finn Balor became the inaugural champion.
I ain't gonna lie, I missed that red belt though.
I don't.
It was just different now. Now seeing it now, it's like
red belt. I don't mind. I liked the red belt a lot better than the blue one. The blue one really kind of.
I would have rather if it did have the literal exact same design.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
recycling the same design over and over and over again, and it was like it went from the Rock's design to this kind of the one that you have now. To 3 different iterations of the same thing to now it's the same thing now, but it's completely gold plated.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the gold plate with the black does look really good.
It's a nice finish, but the design is boring. The design is boring.
I mean, personally, I miss the undisputed belt we had from like 02 to 05.
That's before Cena changed it to your belt. Yeah, because I feel like the original, like the big gold belt, just because it looked different. It was the plating was so much different. So I feel
like the World Heavyweight Championship. It made whoever wore the title. It was like that was your world champion.
Right.
No, it really it was just like it was the appearance that set the bar, because it's like, no disrespect to the WWE Championship, because its lineage is, Bruno Sammartino, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, like break the Hitman Hart. The lineage is ridiculous, but it's the World Heavyweight Championship. You got to remember how many people have held this thing. Ric Flair,
Dusty Rhodes,
Sting, Batista, Sting, Hulk Hogan. Again, he's held both world titles. The Undertaker, Kane.
Yeah, I get it.
There's
both are stacked. Both are honestly stacked.
Those are heavyweight individuals, but then you also have your cruiserweight individuals like Jeff Hardy, not Ric Flair, excuse me, Rey Mysterio. Though Dolph Ziggler had that one run, but
it's funny you bring up Jeff Hardy. I realized, we talked about people talk about how some of the wrestlers now look so average. They look like regular dudes and stuff that you won't believe that they're wrestlers. And I had to think about it a while back, and it's like the Hardy Boys was one of the most like regular average looking guys that just happen to be wrestlers that in that time frame they didn't have like the build like a lot of those guys,
but they had the hot topic fans.
You gotta remember,
they stood out. But
the thing that you have to remember about the Hardy Boys is they set the bar.
No, but I'm talking about for not having to look like.
Oh no, I know, but I'm saying though, like you really have to think about it. This is where we have to remind ourselves, let's not look at it as a fan base right now. Mm-hmm. Let's look at it as analysts. And the thing that you really have to think about, one thing about Vince, despite his recent, everything that's come out recently, he is one hell of a businessman. And the one thing that I will say that he is good at is knowing what makes money in degrees. And one thing that I will say about Matt and Jeff Hardy is multiple tag team champions, multiple, hardcore matches, tables, ladders, and chairs. You name it, they've done it. They are literally the forefathers of the tables, ladders, and chairs match, the ladders match period, along with Edge and Christian, along with the Dudley Boys. Obviously the entire ECW roster, they played a huge part in the hardcore, foundation. You have to remember, they literally built the House of Extreme.
Yeah.
So for them not to be in a WWE ring or anything else, rather, would be asinine ridiculous. It wouldn't make sense to not have them,
Gotcha.
especially how entertaining, because how many memories can we come off the bat? When I say Edge and Christian versus Jeff and Matt Hardy, what are some matches that come to mind to you?
That fucking spear off the top of the ladder.
Immediately.
Yeah.
I saw Extreme Rules 09 when Edge went for the spear again. Jeff's like, not today, son. Catch you with the twist of fate midair. However, I also saw Jeff Hardy as of last month when they came to New Orleans. Your boy looking rough. I know people been sharing the video of him not being able to do the twist of fate, and that video is so out of context. Because if you actually watch the match, Daniel Garcia was working over that knee, and Jeff sold that shit like a champ. But everyone posted the video out of context, like, "Oh, you got hanging up, Like, no, this is called wrestling. It's called storytelling, kids. It's called storytelling. However, Jeff in New Orleans is past. No, dog, Jeff, I love you. I truly do. I still got your armbands. I still got the DVD. I need you to retire.
The problem with Jeff is he has a lot of demons that he has to face.
Yes.
But the mileage he has took on his body.
The mileage on his body, and that's the one thing
that's why I feel like.
And he's dealt with more mileage than his brother.
Yeah, because he took all the risks. It's just like, what's his name? The one with the half the face.
Darby.
Darby's
I'm gonna yeet my body. I'm gonna yeet my body no matter what.
Darby Allin has literally become the modern day Jeff Hardy, in the fact that he is definitely
he's the scariest Jeff
Hardy. He's a blend, and I think I said this to you. He's a blend of Jeff Hardy mixed with Sting, genuinely a modern day Sting with a blend of Jeff Hardy.
But the thing is, it's like he's so small. Because I've seen him in person. He's a small guy. He's not a big guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's he's like what, 5'11"?
Yeah, I think he's shorter than that. I think he's
not a
how tall is Orange Cassidy? Fresh squeezed.
5'8", I think.
I think he might be like maybe half an inch taller than Fresh squeezed.
Nah, I think Fresh squeezed is taller than right.
Really?
Hold on. He is. That's just a picture of Darby Allin. He is 5'8". He's 1 inch taller than me.
So when I saw him at Terrificon, I almost went past him because I didn't know it was him. That's how small he is to me. So I was like, oh wow, that's him. But for him to take all the risks that he does, it scares the hell out of me, because like I look at any moment he could die. Like,
but the thing is, though, we have to keep in mind.
Now he wants to do Mount Everest. This man wants to climb Mount Everest.
Yep. No, but he's training for it.
Well, that's the thing, though. We need to keep in mind the WWE, or actually all professional wrestling at this point, is a lot safer than when the Hardy Boys started.
But they're never gonna say the WWE wants to hire Darby Allin. They can never hire him because his insurance rate is too high.
I don't think it's.
Whoa! We can't even say that, because we've seen some really, really crazy shit.
Yeah, but you gotta think about it. Like, one, they were scared. I remember what's his name? Justin Gabriel. I used to love Justin Gabriel back in the day. He's a skydiver. They had to tell him, hey, while you're working here, you're gonna have to chill out with all the skydiving, because we don't want us to run the risk of you dying on us or you getting hurt.
See, that's fair. I can understand that.
Yeah, but they also did the same thing with Jeff Hardy. He's like, hey, can you not do all the shit that you be doing in your home? Because he built, instead of like going out places and doing shit,
I'm gonna build my own dirt track.
Yeah, so he's like, hey, you're supposed to recover. So while you're recovering, can you not ride your motorbike around your house you do?
Yeah, but I mean, really though, you need to ask yourself though, because this is the thing. Me personally, I feel like that's a load of crap, in my opinion. The reason why is because you have these guys run risks for you in ring, and on a regular, and now we've seen how those negative results can,
but they're paying you.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Right, but yeah, they're paying them, but are they really getting their worth though?
No, I'm not saying paying. Like if they get hurt in the ring, they get paid while they're home. If they get hurt outside and they got to be taken off, they're not going to get paid.
No, they don't get paid while they're at home. No.
No. I'm saying if they get paid in the ring, and if they get hurt in the ring, they're still gonna get paid while they're hurt, like while they're recovering.
Hang on, I can break this down better. Let's rewind to 2008. Randy Orton tried to do an RKO on Triple H. He got thrown out the ring, broke his clavicle. Remember?
Yep.
Remember that, right? Okay. Obviously, WWE's gonna take care of it. They're gonna pay. He's on the contract. Fine. He's supposed to come back. He's recovering. Clavicle is healed. He gets on his motorcycle, gets into a car accident, breaks the other clavicle.
Mm-hmm.
So now, all what you have planned for him, that's gone. He's out for at least, that was 2008. He didn't come back till, I want to say, mid 2009? When
that's when he started feuding with Triple H.
Yeah.
So, what he's trying to say is you have all this investment in your stars, and I have this argument with my brother because we have an argument about TLC from 2016 when half the roster was sick and they had to do a Hail Mary and just change the whole card for the safety of your wrestlers because okay, you know what? Fuck it. 2016 TLC, half the roster is sick. Roman Reigns is out. Bray Wyatt is out.
Yeah.
A couple other superstars are out. Whole card has to be changed. You have Finn Balor versus AJ Styles, Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch, and you have a clusterfuck of the Shield with Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Kurt Angle versus Kane, Braun Strowman, The Miz, and The Miz Taraj. 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you have 4 of those 5 are some of the safest people to help protect Kurt Angle. My brother, my roommate, Cade, he argues that there should have been more tables, ladders, and chairs matches in that pay-per-view. I argue, okay, here's the thing. We are literally on the road to WrestleMania. This is the last pay-per-view before we go to the Royal Rumble.
And this was TLC 2016?
It was either 2016 or 2017. It was one of those 2 years. This is the last pay-per-view before we go to the Rumble. Half the roster is down.
Is already injured.
Is already out. Mm-hmm. You now want to put at risk the rest of your roster.
Yeah.
For table, ladders, and chairs. WrestleMania is literally right around the corner. He's like, risky for the biscuit. No.
Not to cut you off, but I will say this. I get where he's coming from, where you're saying you need more extreme matches in that pay-per-view, considering the title is tables, ladders, and chairs. Absolutely. However, if over half of your roster is injured, then just scrap the pay-per-view, change the pay-per-view. That's how especially considering you have the time beforehand to be able to do that, especially if your roster's already been injured from, let's say if TLC was in July, you already know from May that half your roster's injured. Change the pay-per-view.
That's the thing. It was a last minute change. Like literally, Roman went down a week before. Bray went down. No, it was Roman went down a week before, so they had to scramble to get Kurt. Bray went down a couple of nights before, and then so on and so forth.
Right, during the show.
So the pay-per-view's already been. The sponsors have already paid for the title.
Yeah.
They've already paid for the airtime. They've already done all this stuff. It's way too late to change the name.
Right, fair enough.
You have to change the card. You have to make sure, all right, if half the roster's sick, we got to make sure we can at least keep the healthy roster able to WrestleMania, along with Kurt, because we're going to have the program with him and Ronda.
Right, and Kurt's on a Legends contract, so he can't really do too much either.
Right. So, play it safe. We're going to have it's going to be called TLC. We're only going to have one TLC match. We might have it was a tables match with Becky and Alexa. That's going to be it. It sucks. The fans might not be happy, but we're going to give them Finn versus AJ on pay-per-view. And it was the best match of the card. The rest of the card wasn't even that bad. It was honestly a solid.
Obviously, because Finn versus AJ Styles, that's a great match. But it's
AJ wasn't even part of the roster. The
The Raw roster.
Raw
He was on
roster. He
SmackDown.
came over for
It was a
SmackDown.
SmackDown. Wasn't he champion at the time?
No, he
Nah.
wasn't champion yet.
He just happened to come over, like they needed him, and they
just happened
literally
to have
called
a
him.
crossover
They called
for
him
him.
last minute. I remember that they called him like last minute. Hey, can you come fight? Can we fly you over here? And that's what happened. They flew him like first class, everything to get him there. But like if you watch the Maven has a great YouTube channel. So what I was saying is that if you get hurt on their dime, they're gonna pay for you. They'll take care of you. If you get hurt outside of them, like they can't really take care of you because it wasn't like workman's comp, basically.
I find
like unless you have enough, hopefully you have enough money to take care of yourself. You know. But if it's like you have health insurance and stuff, but because you gotta remember that you're independent contractor. But like you get hurt on the job, they'll pay for you. They'll pay for everything. They'll pay while you get recover because
yeah, but I find that hard to believe, especially considering the fact that let's
you gotta remember independent contractor.
No, you're right, but that's what I'm saying. Hear me out. Let's take another rewind back to the summer of Punk.
Okay.
Leading up to now, let's say we're past the undisputed WWE title match with Cena at SummerSlam. Like literally, it's the end of Summer of Punk. He has the opportunity to main event WrestleMania. He ends up going up against The Undertaker, and then eventually they cut him on his wedding day. From the interview that he did, the interview that he did leading up to his termination with WWE, from what my understanding was, and also I believe John Oliver did a bid on the WWE and their independent contractors contract and everything. So, like Punk was not 100% while he was on tour in Europe.
Yeah.
And he even was honest about it, that he literally, dropped the deuce on himself in the middle of a SmackDown match with Dean Ambrose.
He tweeted it. They told him to delete that.
And even WWE had him take that down. So it's like he was not well while he was on tour with the WWE. So how is it possible that they're saying they're going to take care of their superstars when you have superstars that were currently under contract that are saying they're not being taken care of?
No, we just not understand what I'm saying. It's like I'm not saying like yes, that whole thing, yes. But I'm talking about when you actually get hurt, like Darby Allin, they can't afford to risk like someone like Darby Allin because you saw he was on a big wheel or something like that. He did like the Nitro Circus types. It was something he did a big wheel and he did a flip and everything. He hurt himself. So but he was already still recovering as well.
Nitro Circus, as wild and as crazy as it is, I followed them for years, and their injury rate is shockingly low. Like almost.
No, but I'm saying, but for Darby Allin.
Oh yeah, but Darby's also different. He
flipped in the air, but he also did land well. But he's also at the same time he's also still recovering from another injury that he had in the ring. So it's like for him to take a chance on somebody like Darby Allin, they're gonna they're gonna have to restrict some things, which I know Darby Allin I want to do what I want. So
it comes down to risk versus reward.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. They're not gonna pay for. They'll still pay for his other injury, but if you got injured doing that, they're not paying for that.
That's where again I feel like a lot of the time, certain individuals they get that treatment because they're able to negotiate that stuff into their contracts. Because let's be honest, how many guys that are like top card superstars obviously are getting the VIP treatment?
Well, you gotta look at it. You gotta think about that. We're not talking about we're talking about the average wrestler. Not talking about somebody like a Cody.
So that's where now we're on.
So if you do somebody like a Cody,
the average wrestler, then fine. But like if we were talking about your guy who literally only wrestles maybe 12 matches a year, he's probably getting the best treatment money can buy.
Well, he has leukemia.
Besides the fact, well, obviously I know that.
You gotta be real. Like outside of the thing, his is a little bit more detrimental than the average because he actually has leukemia. So it's like,
well, he's been carrying the entire company on his back for over 3 years now.
But still, that's there. That's a Vince decision. If it was Triple H, I don't think it would be. He would have the belt that long. I think it won't be that long. But this is all Vince. You got to remember, Vince.
Oh wait,
Vince,
with Roman.
Yeah.
This is a Vince
that's
idea.
A wild thing. He caught COVID on that month, that Raw day one. The whole reason Big E had to drop the title to Brock because Roman had COVID. Because of that.
Oh, you mean Kofi?
No, COVID.
Roman had COVID.
Yeah,
which
he's more like
also already just coming off having cancer. So like he was like, I ain't going out there. I don't trust them hoes. I'm not doing all that. Tribal Chief gonna stay home and recover.
Like he can't.
His wife and
kids. Wasn't that way before the Tribal Chief persona, or was that like?
This was right when he was about to like hit his peak. Like this was right when he was. This was before Head of the Table. I think he was still just.
Yeah, it was just like 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago.
Right.
It was right before WrestleMania. What was this past one was 38.
It was right.
It was 38. I'm sorry. It wasn't 39. It was 30. It was WrestleMania 38 because Cody Rhodes would make his return that WrestleMania.
No, like he started doing it was because Big E lost the belt. They gave it. They lost the belt to
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley won it, and then Bobby lost it to Brock Lesnar. So they only brought Brock Lesnar in because Reigns had COVID, and Big E was supposed to keep that belt during that time frame. But when Reigns caught COVID, it screwed up a lot of things.
They had to pivot.
So they had to change everything. And then that's what was like, hey, we go to our shirt bet to mess with everybody. We bring Brock Lesnar in. He gets the belt, and then they go back and forth with that. Him and Bobby Lashley, whatever. But they will all try to get the news off of Roman Reigns because he was sick. Roman Reigns, with his immune systems, he's more liable to get sick a lot faster than the average person because of his immune system. So he can't do it every single day, even though he looks good. He's up to like body wise and everything. His immune system still can be sadly low because of the weather outside, what's going on, the regular people day to day. It's a lot more. Like I just said, Carl Weathers passed away. He was in tip top shape. So if you add, you just had your remission with cancer, and then you have COVID still going around. You can catch COVID and still die. Yeah, and you're more likely to die with that. I mean,
so then you get to WrestleMania.
I mean, Bray just passed, and he was on recovery, but he got sick, and then all that happened. So it's like, he can't do what he would like to do or used to do before. So they had to change his deal around. But also, you got to look at it. That's also Vince putting the strings. Like, you know what? We're gonna keep this going and having him keep having this belt for the longest he does. So that's why even to now, I think now his time is coming up. Like, okay, he's gonna drop his belt to Cody.
Here's the only problem. I really want to see Hulk Hogan's reign record.
I would love to. I would love it too.
That's the cherry on Black History right there. I want to see it go.
I don't.
Just what is it? It is right after WrestleMania, like September something.
It's SummerSlam.
See, and I would love that too, but it's just like at some times, even though
I'm not feeling it because the reason why I'm not feeling it is because this is the thing. If we really look back, where did that thumbs up come from?
That's what you saw, that right?
I was like, "Where does the thumbs up come? Where
did that come from?" I'm like, "Huh?"
I'm like, "We're not live. We're recording. What? Why is it on mine?"
I don't know. Like it just popped up. I'm like, oh, where'd that thumbs up come from? I'm like,
okay, go ahead. I don't know what's going
on. So the thing is, like, literally, if we look at Hulk Hogan's run, CM Punk's run, a lot of the more recent runs, there were multiple title defenses. And I heard everything that you said, and I agree, and I understand that. But this is the thing. And this is where they were losing a lot of the head of the table with the whole bloodline shtick. And I feel like that's where they had to shake things up and kind of get the Usos turning against each other to kind of keep people interested. And I feel like that's where they kind of plugged in Sami Zayn and all that stuff to kind of keep the bloodline.
That was a brilliant idea.
That was a brilliant idea to bring in Sami. And look, even the thing agrees.
It's like I agree, Sammy was great because I'm not gonna lie,
that injected so much new energy.
he was funny as hell.
It was
I'm not
amazing
even
to
lying.
have him there. That was great. That was one of the best things they did.
Like, I'm not even gonna lie, the fact that they plugged in Sami Zayn was great. It was very entertaining. And there was just like a lot of bits like he's not feeling very oozy.
But that's all on the fly though. Because he's just trying to get Jimmy to laugh.
No, right. But that's what I'm saying though. That those plugs are what made the bloodline story more interesting, because if they didn't have those points where like Sammy's in the bloodline, then he's out of the bloodline, then he's this, then he's if they didn't have those vaults, they would have lost the audience a long time ago.
But I feel like that's why it's coming,
because
it's coming to an end.
Yeah,
if anything, because say Cody actually finishes the story and beats Roman.
Mm-hmm.
We can end not end it right there, but you can see the end happening, and Roman, who I wish they would have kept going with it, was slowly starting to turn into like a mad king. Like
yes.
Like he was starting to lose it a little bit around Sammy, around like you think I'm funny, you think that I'm here to break you up.
Basically, what happened with Evolution when they came back with the Shield.
Yeah, like
and then Triple H
Roman
on Batista and everybody.
Yeah, just start kind of going a little crazy, a little bit more mad. Personally, I would rather see him spear The Rock in half.
That could have happened.
I have different feelings about The Rock. That's a whole separate video. We do not have time.
You know what?
We are an hour and 20 in on this video. We do not have the time.
So the Mad King could have happened and could have been ejected. Like could have happened easily during the trial of Sami Zayn, because that's what you could have had it pulled that off. That way you could have it could have been explosive. Because now you have the Usos backing Sammy.
You didn't want to fight for this? You don't want to fight for this?
Think about it. You had him backing Solo. You had Solo, who was learning from Sammy, who was like always getting tagged with him and stuff. So you could have had them like, you know what? Hey, we love you, bro, but you going crazy. We got to step back. You know,
Roman already had the opportunity to do that, and they flopped it.
No, I'm saying at that at the trial of Sami Zayn, they could have done it.
Right,
more at that time.
Right, but he already had that moment to go Mad King, and they flopped it.
But that could have been a moment there. They could have they flopped it before. They could have fixed it and had him go like there. They had
multiple opportunities to go.
Even the moment with Sami Zayn, like Sammy at the when Roman told Sammy to hit Owens while he was tied up on the ropes. That could have been a Mad King moment right there where they all said, "Nah, we're not good with this. We're not doing this."
That's the thing. They've already had multiple times to have that Mad King moment, and they flopped every single one.
But I mean, hey, we had multiple times to get The Rock to show up, but schedule conflicts, and look where we are now.
One at a time.
Hear me out on this one, though. Because you literally had that Mad King moment where Jimmy and Jay turned on each other, and even so much so you had Solo in the mix. It was like, these are my brothers. You're my tribal chief, but I'm not gonna flip on my brothers just because you're mad at them. He had that moment to flip, and just like you said, the trial of Sami Zayn, same thing. He's had multiple moments to kind of unveil the Mad King persona. But they dial it back for some reason, and then they just keep on with the same. Well, he keeps on trucking as the tribal chief these number of days with little title defenses. So it's like that's what I'm saying. It goes back full circle to why I was saying to you, like the bloodline got stale, but without those vaults of, those plugs of entertainment, like Sami Zayn. I feel like Sami Zayn saved. Storyline for a long time, because
their merch went up so much.
If they didn't have his comic relief for as long as they did, I don't think the bloodline would have even gone another year after that point. It would have just fell off and been completely stale.
So speaking with the bloodline now we've got different evolutions of the bloodline now for the past 3 years, from when it started to now. Now that we have the press conference, which I think is remarkable when you get that many people to show up for a conference, a press conference, like it was an actual WrestleMania type of thing.
Well, that was the thing. The smart move that they did was the fact that they announced the WrestleMania event in the same weekend as the Super Bowl, and even made it a public appearance event. It's like, oh, it's totally free. Come on in, just check us out.
So I gotta say,
it kind of wet market appetite for WrestleMania.
I gotta say, for The Rock, for Dwayne Johnson to be come back and in real life to, come back and be a part of the board now. They give him be a part of the board, but in doing so, you come to me that you want me to be a part of the board, but all right, I do that, but we gotta make a deal. I want my name back. To make that to have that deal where you can get your Rock The Rock back, and he can actually use it and not have to pay them anymore, like how he used to. That's why he stopped using The Rock as his stage name. That's why you don't hear Dwayne The Rock Johnson in movies anymore, because every time he did a movie, he had to pay for it. Yeah. So now he owns it now. That's the equivalent to a singer or rapper owning their masters.
Well, that's the same.
We come full circle to Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
that's the same thing where it's like Cody Rhodes owns his own name. Chris Jericho owns his own name. But then it's just like you see these superstars that literally have to modify their identity, and this is the thing.
Or you can change their name. Period.
Well, that's the thing. Like WWE has a chokehold where they're able to make money in different avenues and different venues. Because if you look at them, they have video games, they have their own movie studios, they have sponsorship plugs. Now they have this deal with Netflix, and I'm wondering how that is going to unfold. It's like now you have to have a Netflix subscription to tune into Monday Night Raw. I think that's going to play a huge negative part in their views, just because of the fact that you have to subscribe to a streaming service to be able to watch Monday Night Raw programming.
I mean, true. I was subscribed to Netflix and the WWE network when I had it. I had both of them.
Right, but it's just like having your own network and having a stream and having your content on a streaming service is different. Because look at, like I told you, during Black Friday, I got Peacock, and I paid like $6 for the full year. That's great. But the thing is, there is WWE content on Peacock, but I don't have access to the new content besides the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, the network is just a dump on. They just dumped everything stuff they had on the network on Peacock. It's really nothing too much new, besides the NXT stuff, like the documentaries they used to do exclusively for that.
So it's just like the problem is you have all your content being fractured on different streaming services, and then it's just like now you're putting your live content on a streaming service. Now it's going to be even harder for someone who doesn't have cable TV or a hacked Fire Stick to be able to watch your content.
I mean, there's more people that has Netflix than actual cable these days.
Yeah, but also let's not forget Netflix constantly jacking up the prices and restricting password sharing. So that's, and it boggles. It's billions of dollars. Cool, W's making money. What's the point of getting Peacock then? Why did you force us to get this app if you're just gonna go to another app?
Yeah,
I'm spending $4.99 here, $15.99 here,
What
the fuck? Right, what are we doing? What are we doing?
So from what I gathered, from looking up, researching, the Peacock basically brought the SmackDown stuff. So you would go to them for SmackDown, and then you go to Netflix for Raw.
Yeah, Netflix is on their Raw, ad free at least, but
so you go to Raw, you go to Netflix Peacock for the SmackDown.
That doesn't make sense though, because Raw is on Peacock also.
Yeah, but they will not be after this year. They're not going to be streaming any more Raw stuff because everything goes into effect in 2025. So it will only, basically just like you have two channels,
which is wild. It's still 2020. Like NBC's over like, hey dog, we got work together for like 11 months. Like
but
this
they still
social
gonna
media
have their
team is
deal.
like, we got
They
11
still-
months.
They
Yeah,
still
but I
have their
mean,
deal,
keep in mind,
but
look at what happened with Raw, and then they ended up having to leave. They ended up having to leave what service to go back to USA?
They were on what? Raw was on TNN for
that was only for like
Spike
2
TV.
years. That was like
And
2
then
years, so like
I think it was 4.
4 years, yeah. Pretty
No,
much.
Spike was literally back in like 2000.
Yeah.
2000.
So so it
Then
wasn't
they were
that
on
long.
then they were on USA.
We have the technology.
Yeah,
Then they were on USA. Then they were on TNT. Then they were like they just been bouncing.
no,
all
it was never on TNT. It was always USA. and then it went
TNT's
to Spike.
always been Turner Class. That's always that's that WCW country
Yeah.
right there.
Turner would never have WWE product with this shit. But yeah, so what was I about to say? Yeah, so you have that. So what I'm trying to say is, all right. So now that we have these, this is what I'm going on. So now we're gonna get the SmackDown and
They were on TNN, which / Spike for 5
years. Which is funny because I'm watching the Paul Heyman documentary a couple weeks back. They was going to get that TNT Spike deal to have their show be over there on TV, but WWE came in and they were the big shot, and so they took it over. So they like, nah, never mind. We changed our mind to ECW. So that was ECW's last ditch effort of having a TV deal, having money coming in to their company.
Dude, that was another thing that I really never agreed with. The fact that you had these, and correct me if you feel off about this, I feel like ECW getting the axe and them just get rid of the brand like was such a bad move, because it's just like,
no, I mean, it wasn't the same one.
like hear me out though.
Yeah.
Where we had, those individuals, like you had certain people that weren't on the main roster, but they still had an outlet to like, you could go and watch their matches and they were really good matches. Like, for example, when Christian kind of started falling off and didn't have a storyline on the main roster, because this was at that time before that whole one more match for the World
Let's not forget, Christian had left the company before that.
He was in the
Christian came back when he came back, he came to ECW.
Right.
Because he had a huge impact on TNA.
Yes. Well, that was when he left with that chip on his shoulder, because he had that whole more match storyline for the world title.
That was before that.
Yeah.
Right.
So like not to like go too much off topic again, but put the nail to coffin on that shit. One, I looked at some videos of ECW, the WWE ECW version.
Mm-hmm.
God, there was a lot of horrible wrestlers on that. There was not a good. I mean, you had some gems that was in the making, but a good amount of characters that was there were not great. They were not.
I agree and disagree. The thing that killed ECW for the WWE ECW was the fact that it was easily a WWE ECW.
That's what it was. Yeah.
On top of that, let's not forget the worst pay-per-view of all. Well, I wouldn't say of all time, but one of the worst modern pay-per-views.
Yeah.
December
to December. Yeah.
This pay-per-view had 2 matches. 2.
Dude, that pay-per-view had so much potential and they flopped it.
Like,
and it was in that moment we knew they did not care about this brand at all.
Nah.
Now, at the same time, there was enough care that we saw people evolve into what they were going to be. We saw Zack Ryder evolve, go from the fucking one pant. I don't know what year he was trying. He was trying shit with that. Johnny Nitro become John Morrison, which is probably the biggest glow up for a wrestler. Was that on that brand? CM Punk's debut and his evolution, becoming ECW champion and then moving over to Raw.
Mark Henry.
Even some of Rey Mysterio's earlier matches, though, he was over on ECW competing too.
You gotta remember, Mark Henry.
Yeah. It was the pay per view. It was the one night stand. I think he might have had one match on ECW
Against
WWE
Sabu.
ECW. Yeah, Sabu. But that was either the rematch from One Night Stand, or it was the One Night Stand match. But I think it was a rematch that he was there for.
But
You had RVD,
and then
obviously.
Right. And then even so much so, the one moment that literally ignited one of the greatest rivalries in professional wrestling, John Cena versus RVD for the WWE Championship, where Edge was an outside interference.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was the launch. That was basically
That was the launch point for that grudge. And it was
all right.
hands down.
You're also forgetting that came out of it. Also, the ECW, that new ECW silver and black belt.
Bro, I was just about to say that belt was.
People didn't like it, but I liked it. And the only person it fit, it looked good on to me.
Mark Henry.
Yes, that was.
He's the only one.
He made that belt.
Literally the only one.
No. It looked good on Christian, and it did look good on Matt Hardy, but it just fit because
it just fit him so well.
It complemented the big boy.
Yeah, it was a good belt.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the purist in me. The OG ECW belt.
Yeah,
looks so much better.
Don't get me wrong. The OG belt is crazy, but this modern day silver and black was nice. It was
like
just,
that old ECW belt would have looked great on somebody like the time, like CM Punk.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The old ECW belt doesn't fit on bigger guys. Perfect example. I was just about to point this out. Like, this belt doesn't fit around me. Like, I have to buy an extender to be able to wear it, and even so much so, it's still awkward. Like, Big Show couldn't wear the old ECW belt. He had to drape it over his shoulder like a gorilla.
But let's not forget, Mark Henry didn't wear the belt around his waist. So he also draped that bitch around his shoulder.
Yeah,
he was able to wear it though. It was big enough for him to wear it.
I need full graphic proof. I need full graphic proof of Mark Henry wearing that big ass belt. You know what? I'm a look.
I think it was big enough for him to wear it. He just wearing it over his shoulder though.
So all right. So why are you doing that? So my thing, what was going to happen, right? Even though we would love to see the record, the Hulk Hogan record be broken, which I would love that. Would they do it? I don't think so, because
I wouldn't
because we gotta change this. We can't go another year with him winning the belt.
Damn.
You found it.
Chico's right.
Yeah.
Damn.
So told you.
I would like to see the Hulk Hogan record broken, but if it gets broken, I'd like to see it in the way where, and again, we talked about it, and I understand it, and and the way he set up his contract, great, that's smart, but like, his title defenses are a fraction of what Hogan did during his title run.
But we also gotta remember. We also gotta remember at the time.
So I feel like with more title defenses, it would mean more for him to break that record.
But let's not forget, Hogan was wrestling
record. But keep in mind, CM Punk was defending the title on Raw, on SmackDown.
Yeah, but he also didn't have his situation was different. But also
Hogan. Go ahead, yeah, Hogan during that time was wrestling almost every. He was wrestling every week, different stages, every stage throughout the weeks. So, not just Hogan, but Bruno Sammartino,
all those guys.
I'm forgetting somebody's name. Bob Backlund, that's who it was.
Bob Backlund, even Cena's title defense, his top 10 title defense,
but also,
were title defenses week in and week out, or at least.
You also got to remember, there wasn't, when it came to wrestling. Back then, when Hogan was the champion and it's Bruno, there wasn't a lot of TV time. You got, when it came to your city, but they had like their little live TV shows on Saturdays, but they didn't have a Raw. They didn't have they had the Saturday morning stuff. They had the Saturday night stuff, main event.
I see where Chico's coming from, because Reigns is defending the title, I think, maybe 14 times in total, and those 14 out of over 1,000-day reigns is kind of like, yo.
Well, wait, what about Brock Lesnar?
Oh, I'm on his ass too.
Bad.
I'm on his ass too. Like
He was just bad. I didn't like him when he was champion either, because this is the thing. This is the thing that bothered me.
He was just simply not there for like 6 months.
No. This is the thing that bothered me, and this is the thing that was really funny. It was literally the pot calling the kettle black, because one of the things that I did not like was the fact that you have Brock Lesnar, literally our champion, but he spent more time literally with a thumb in his ass on his private jet, literally hanging out at other events and stuff, and not defending the championship. He would defend the championship maybe once every third pay-per-view. So you've gotten over 300 days as champion, but you haven't done anything. And the funny thing is, Roman, when he was trying to dethrone the Beast, was saying, "Oh, how you're a you're never on," but you've literally become the thing that you hate the most. Yep. So now it's like you're doing the same exact thing.
But that's also what Cena said to Rock.
Well, that's the thing.
Until he actually got into the position, and he like, "Oh, I get it now."
Well, that's the thing. Though. That's all well and good, but here's the fact of the matter: you got a guy like, for example, Seth Rollins, who now is literally defending the championship week in and week out on weekly programming on pay-per-views.
And not anymore. He's on one leg and a broke back.
Defending for all he's worth. And then you see that, and it's like, and that's where that storyline comes in, where like, oh, he's the B champion, I'm the A champion, because I'm not. No. If anything, right now, there is validity behind what was said at that pay-per-view, press conference. That
I'm sorry, but that Coca-Cola looked really good. That way, me just like, damn.
One now too.
I was drinking. I've been drinking water all day, so I'm like, ooh, that look good. No, but yes.
So it's like you literally have, Seth Rollins like literally week in and week out defending the world heavyweight championship, and then you got Roman that literally, I've been champion for over 1,000 days. Okay, well, almost half of all your title defenses you won because of outside interference. The other half was because of outside interference because of someone else. And then, you know what I mean? So it's just like, where is the substance? There were one or two matches that you won square, but in the sense of your title run, there's not much to go on.
All right. Well, so before we leave out of here, let's get to this heel Rock. Now,
oh Lord, you saying before we get out of here? That's about the hour.
Heel Rock. Heel Rock joining the Bloodline.
It feels like the Attitude Era all over again. We're getting
I feel like this is going to make the story for Cody even greater, because I feel like he's going to have he's wiser now. He understands he knows how people work. The whole family works now. I'm not listening to nobody, because the best thing he did was one of the best things was that promo the week before, where he said, I'm gonna take everything you have, but just not at WrestleMania. And then we got to see his face when The Rock showed up, like he was gonna pass the baton to him, so like, okay, you can go have this moment. But then you see the backlash we got. We had that Daniel Bryan moment. And then it's like he comes out at the press conference realizing, because he's all about his elders, listening to the elders and being respectful to the people that came before him. Look,
I just had WrestleMania 30 vibes all over again.
Yeah. So, what do you mean?
Just had WrestleMania vibes all over again. Cody is Daniel Bryan at this point, and you have, The Rock and Batista literally making his comeback to try to become world champion again against the.
They're going to put him through it. They are going to put Cody Rhodes through it. I kid you not. They're going to put him through it. I don't think they're going to try to set it up to be the same way as like how Daniel Bryan was getting his ass beat during that match, but it's a similar fashion somewhat down the line. But because I feel like they're still going to try to do that, the tag team match in Perth before WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be for Elimination Chamber. To be honest with you, I really do.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's Elimination Chamber.
That's the Elimination Chamber. Go be at in Perth, Australia. So what I'm saying is like we're gonna get this story. It's gonna be even greater for Cody because he has so many odds against him, and they're like, okay, we're gonna build around him because he's been ready. And the fact that he had the story of him leaving, building himself up, going to another, making his own company, leaving that company to come back home to try to, to get it for his family, to come up short and get screwed over, then to come back and now have more odds against him, and now he's realizing, okay, this is a load of bullshit. It's like, because I'm listening, trying to be respectful to you and this person. No, forget that. I want my match.
No, but that's where it literally blows back to the whole fact of that, him being the person that he is. And one of the things that I noticed is, like, I feel like they're trying to build the storyline behind the fact that, the American dream, may be gone,
But the
but
American nightmare.
we see the Rhodes family in the American nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
But the best part is where the story, and this is what I was saying to you, where like Rock came out of nowhere. It's like, where the fuck have you been? And then out of nowhere, you're gonna just insert yourself into the main event. Like,
but
a lot of people, and the reason why for that backlash is because it's like people have invested in this story for like 2 years now.
But you know what's good? But you know what's good about this whole thing?
It felt like a very douchey Vince move where it's like, I don't like the idea. Let's just scrap it.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. So it's like, hell yeah, you have all this backlash, and
but it's good
fans took it to a bit of an extreme where like they're threatening the Rock starter. I thought that was stupid.
Yes, I love my geeks and my blurs, my nerds and my fans, like the wrestling fans and all that. But I hate when fans take things to the extreme. Like, whatever fandom it is, what it is, either movies or sports or whatever, they always that buzz to take it to the extreme where they want to murder somebody. Or they wish death upon their family.
Her story, her career has nothing to do with her father. Don't go
like literally nothing.
Nothing. Has not played a part in her story. He has not played a part in her career so far.
But these fans take things so extra.
What is the point of that?
But these fans take things so extra. It is horrible. It's really horrible how people.
So really, it kind of just go back where now I think they did scrap that idea of The Rock being in the main event to him being that heel senior advisor to Roman.
But I think also this is why I think it's easy for him to go heel.
Right.
Because, y'all do this to my daughter?
Of course.
I ain't be no good guy now.
The thing with The Rock is he's always been able to go heel very quickly because of how brash and outspoken he is. So now we're seeing a resurgence of, like I said, that brash, cocky Rock from WrestleMania 8 when he was facing Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
18.
Where he was
18.
Talking, 18. I'm sorry. Where, that brash cockiness where, I don't know why I was thinking WrestleMania 8. Where that brash cockiness is it's like, I'll kick your monkey ass right now. So we're seeing that again. And that's always been a thing. Like, it's like snap, just like how the Stone Cold was able to be like, he had his moments where people were cheering him, and then he had his moments where like people would be like, dude, what the fuck?
But see, it's so good that it just shows you how good these wrestlers are for the past. Like a guy like The Rock, somebody like a guy like The Undertaker. Even though he's being himself now, he can still snap back into an Undertaker promo easily.
He won't do that though.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. These guys can go from being regular to jumping to their character on instant. Easily.
The one thing about Phil Brooks though is he won't do it. He could, but he won't. Because he played that persona for 30 years. He made sure he didn't break character for 30 years.
Yeah, but he could always do the American Badass version.
Well, yeah, he could, but remember, did you watch The Last Ride?
Yeah.
So, breaking news, The Rock and Roman Reigns will be on SmackDown this Friday, as announced 23 minutes ago.
Well, technically, Instagram had announced it like 2 days ago, but
Yeah, they talked about that last on SmackDown.
I'm slow. I don't know what to tell you.
I was like, you breaking news. Breaking news is on Friday.
Like,
Then I just found out that Bronson
Yes.
Reed ain't going to the chamber, and I'm pissed off. How you gonna have my big Aussie not in Aussie?
Right? Don't shoot. I didn't think about that.
Don't make no goddamn sense. You gonna tell me we just gonna all right. You wanna take Bailey? Hey Rhea. Hey, how you doing? I know you.
And that is the
married to
conclusion of
Buddy
BearatNight
Shut the fuck
podcast.
up. Shut the fuck up. I know you married to Buddy Matthews. I don't really have much to offer. I can make you laugh. I don't have a lot of money. I got a brownie and some Pocky. I ain't got much. I got some dice. You like D&D? I got dice. Like Baldur's Gate.
So we're going back to the Love Connection?
On the love boat. Da, 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 da.
You gonna have a red-hatted Ozzy outside your door ready to beat your ass. He'll be outside waiting for you.
I got a sword. I don't know. I don't fight fair.
You could have picked somebody that was single. Somebody that was single in there.
Who's single? Who is single in this month? Wait, is Willow Nightingale single? Are you single, Willow? Are you single? What about you, Chris Statlander? You single? You know what? I get to go to TNA next Saturday. I get to go to TNA in New Orleans, not New Orleans, in West Wego. It's still New Orleans. Wherever. We'll see. We'll see who there. We'll see who there.
Okay. So, all right. Predictions so far. Do we think Cody's gonna get it? Do we think Cody's gonna win?
I hope to God, yes.
I think he's gonna take it.
All right. Well, to answer your question, I feel like it's gonna end up, with Cody hand raised, holding that back.
Okay.
I feel like it needs to happen.
Real quick, I'll let you finish, but real quick, what if because I just forgot about a whole missing piece. We all know it's gonna be Drew and Seth at Mania. It just has to be. It just has to be. What if a certain someone pulls a heist of the century on Seth?
Oh,
because we have not talked. That man has been forgotten, but I just thought about that.
The Money in the Bank, but that's the thing though. We'd have to find out who's in the Money in the Bank match.
Oh, he already has the contract. He still has the contract.
Which one, Damien?
Damien still has the contract.
He can easily slide in, no matter who.
He can literally hold it until Money in the Bank, this year.
I forgot they don't do WrestleMania Money in the Bank anymore.
No, it's his own pay-per-view.
It has to be a full year.
Which means he could cash in on Seth after his match with Drew, because Drew ain't winning that match. He should, but he ain't winning that match.
You want to know what I think may happen? Oh, and beforehand, since you guys said yours, Ricochet, I love you, but your wife, Samantha.
Oh my God!
That's how necessary women. At least
I can fight Ricochet. I think I can do that.
No, I'm gonna say, bro, I love you. You're an amazing in-ring competitor, but man,
and outside barking up the wrong tree.
I died a little bit on the inside.
Y'all are adulterers. That's what y'all are. Adulterers.
You're the last one to be talking. Who are you hitting on?
Bailey. She's single.
She ain't single.
Yes, she is.
Okay.
Is she?
Yes, she is. She is single as a dollar bill.
Oh,
jeez. Okay. Come on, people, get it together.
No, there was someone else in there.
Y'all trying to bring up Happy Homes.
No, there is. Well, that's the thing. The only other person I was thinking of, I think, is with Braun Strowman right now, and I can't do that. You big boy.
Oh, Raquel?
Yeah. Raquel's not with him either. They broke up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. The engagement. Yeah. The engagement was called off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta go.
But Switching back, I think what may happen is yes, Punk won't be at WrestleMania competing,
Right.
but as he's shown, he was there for the press conference.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to see action,
Mind you, this is all because he got hurt.
right? But the problem is, it's just like how Brock Lesnar wouldn't shut up about destroying the streak back, in WrestleMania 30, kept running his mouth and running his mouth, and then
That was mostly Paul Heyman.
No.
But
no, true, but he speaks for Brock Lesnar. So, coming to Battleground where, he's moments away from becoming champion, the Undertaker makes his appearance. I feel like what may happen in the closing moments of that match, CM Punk inserts himself, and then from there causes Drew to lose the title, and then we could probably see Mr. Money in the Bank.
Mr. Senor in the bank.
I got a couple things I could say in Spanish that wouldn't be polite. Senor Money in the Bank may make his appearance, but I don't think he will be successful. I think he may not be successful.
You have to have these. You've had two. The last Money in the Bank was Austin Theory, and y'all. Instead of challenging for a world, I'm gonna challenge for the United States champion. I ain't never been more angry. And oh my god, ooh, my blood pressure. I can feel it. I can feel my heart.
Well, technically, that's the thing, though. They changed the wording from a title match to any title match.
Yeah.
So
it should be a world.
You know why they did that? You know why they did that? Because when they gave that shit to Otis for the Money to Bank, they was like, "Oh God, this ain't realistic at all."
My boy Otis dirty.
They were just trying to do a shock value when they had him win it. So now
that big belly fellas win shit.
But that's why
big belly fellas win shit.
So now if Otis win again, he can choose between the major belt or NXT belt if he wants to.
Well, that's the thing. Keep in mind, you did have Charlotte who won Money in the Bank, and she challenged the NXT champion. So now
that's right.
The NXT championship isn't a world title, it's a singles championship. So I feel like that's where the wording has been changed, because this top superstar has won multiple world women's championships. So she went for the one thing that she hasn't won.
Yeah, because she can have that under her belt. She won every belt.
No, she's held the NXT title. She's a two-time NXT champion now.
Now.
Mm-hmm. But that was against Rhea Ripley.
Yes, but before she wasn't. She hadn't held.
She got called up. Never had the women's.
No, she did, because it was the first time the Four Horsemen. It was Becky, Sasha.
Yeah, but she never had the belt at that
right,
time.
But that was during the Women's Revolution. She got called up to the main roster.
Maybe challenged for the belt. I could have sworn she beat Natalya for the title.
No, that was never for a belt.
No.
She had a lot of matches.
She had a lot of matches with Natalya,
but never for the belt.
To challenge, she never had the chance to challenge for the
title.
Let me see.
So now that makes her a triple, double crown, whatever. Now, like for her to get the NXT belt.
Now.
Yeah.
She is a two-time NXT champion. She held the belt. She's the fourth. She was not the fourth champion. Why can't you just give me the thing? There we go. She was the second champion. Because Paige vacated because she got moved up to Raw.
Okay.
And Charlotte won it at the first takeover.
I hope they clean it all before they give it to her.
And she won it by beating Natalya. I know my shit. I might be old and crazy. I know my shit.
I hope they clean that better. I hope they clean that better off before they give it to Charlotte.
She never held the NXT title.
Huh?
So why? No, I was just saying, why did they make it sound like she never held the title then?
That was bad wording on their part, because she's literally right after Paige. Then Sasha beat her. Then Bayley, Asuka went under. It's the only person to give up the belt because she was undefeated. Ember Moon, Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane, Shayna Baszler again, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair is the 11th one.
Okay, guys. So obviously we could go on about this forever. We're gonna cut this off because we already gave our prediction.
Oh yeah.
But you'll see, we'll be back next week for another show. This is the BearatNight podcast. I'd like to thank Choji, aka Bryan, to the show. Chico, aka Jonathan, to the show. Everybody got their belts, Everybody looking like champions and stuff. You see that? Yeah. Thank you all for watching. However you digesting this video, this audio. I am so grateful for that. We'll be back next Tuesday for another episode. This is the BearatNight podcast. Remember to be yourself and bear it all. Peace.
You are now listening to BearatNight podcast with your host, Jurassic Parker.